Hi, everybody. How are you today? One of the things that I read is kind of a meditation piece, comes on Sundays. And I don't know if you've seen this before. It's Maria Shriver's Sunday paper. Let me see if I can put that up there. If you were to Google that, you could get on the mailing list. It's free. But as you see, it says inspire hearts and minds and move humanity forward. I just really enjoy her perspective on things. And she started this one, she always begins with, I've been thinking, dot, dot, dot. But this time, she begins with a quote from Rumi. And it kind of speaks to me and where I am, and maybe to some of you too. The quote is this: it's your road and yours alone. Others may walk it with you, but no one can walk it for you. And this whole essay is about slowing down, taking time for ourselves. And she was talking about how much she hated Lent growing up in a Catholic household and how strict it was. But that she really has found herself just spending a lot of time in quiet reflection lately. And this so resonates with me because I have been too. Have you? Maybe it's events in my life, in my work life and home life and all of that. Maybe it's COVID. Maybe it's the storm in Texas. I don't really know, but she writes this. I'm just going to read a couple things and then talk about them. At one point, she says, last year I found myself thinking a lot about how much we really are on our own. Life is a mystical journey, and it's ours to walk with others, but ultimately it's ours to walk alone. You know, I certainly find that to be true for my parishioners, for me, for my family. I think all of us who care about others sometimes wish that we could spare them whatever they're going through, but we can't. But then she comes down to say this. In my life, the people who seem to have learned their lessons the best are those who have met their suffering head on. It's those who have spent time alone and grown from it. They are the teachers, the healers, and the helpers among us. Some teach us how to care for our bodies and our minds, while some teach us how to care for our spiritual lives. Some even teach us about humor, and I love that, she says. I've always been inspired by others who share their gifts. She talks about that. But she says, for me, this week was about realizing that sometimes there is nothing more instructional than sitting in silence. Sit in the unknown and sit with your uncomfortable feelings. Let them come up and just allow them to be. Allow your anger to be there. Realize that it's covering up your grief. Realize that sometimes you are helpless and alone. Realize that sometimes the most difficult thing you can do is nothing at all. And she talks about how people right now who are going through the storm and the power outages and so forth in Texas, that they're having to be alone and to go through things alone. All of us with COVID are alone to one degree or another. People who are used to working in an office who work at home now, or our children who are educating at home or in a hybrid situation, and teachers. It's a very lonely time. She addresses that a little, if I can find this here. Let's see. Probably should have marked this sooner, huh? um, let's see. She says that we can we can all do our part to help our neighbors who are suffering, but ultimately we end up having to walk alone. We end up having to learn several life lessons on our own. And as she is at some point in here talking about everybody and what we're going through now, you know, she says that it really is a privilege to be able to be alone and to have this time. And that's kind of how I'm trying to look at Lent this year, that it's a privilege to be able to carve out this time for ourselves, and that I would add to that that this is a perfect time when we are alone to be holding other people for whom it's not a privilege, for whom it's survival right now and they don't want to be alone, but to sort of project ourselves to be there and surround them with God's light so that maybe they're not feeling quite as alone. Yes, they have to walk it on their own, but we can walk with them. And sometimes we can do that, by contributing to, I don't know, American Red Cross or Presbyterian Disaster Assistance or whatever, wherever it is you send your money. But that always we can do it with prayer. We can surround them and hold them in the light. Whether they know it or not, they will feel it. And I'm inspired to do that, to appreciate my aloneness, not to be angry about it, not to wish it weren't so. When is this COVID thing going to be over so we can get on with getting back to being with each other, but truly appreciating the gift that it is to be alone and to use that alone time to align with people who are alone, not of their own making, in very intense situations. So I just thought I'd share that with you as an opportunity for a prayerful pause to surround people, and to embrace our own aloneness. But I'm very happy that we get to walk on this journey together so that even as we go through whatever we're going through individually, we are connected. I truly believe that, energetically and prayerfully. And so I thank you for that and hope that it's a good journey for you today. Thanks for joining me for this prayerful pause with the pastor. I'm Pastor Deb Swift of South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York, and I look forward to seeing you here next time too. Have a great day, everybody. God bless. Bye for now.